Good evening, all. I hope you all are doing fine and staying safe, and you have taken good rest after our last week's visit to Paris, the city of lights. Today's presentation is by Dr. Barun Sinha, who is a medical practitioner by profession and also a passionate photographer. Among the fraternity of photographers, he is well known for his excellent photography and as the dedicated Honorary Secretary General of FIP. I'm Hardik Shah, one of the directors of YPS and host for today's session. Before we begin our today's session, here are some quick announcements. The Drishti October edition is out there. I hope you have downloaded them. I hope you have read them. Now that you have read it, it's time to give the review. So if you wish to give the review and we insist, positive or negative, just drop a message to 9513 YPS BLR, that is 9513 977 257. International Salon 2020 is now open. I hope you have started sorting your best images to submit. The last date for to upload the images is November 24th. Coming to the next week's YPS Meet Live session is from the Ashok Kandimala, who will be talking on perplexing perspective. Perspective which is quite obvious to everyone yet puzzling. It is often confused as distortion. This presentation brings out how perspective affects your images and how to exploit its properties. So don't miss, it's going to be a quite interesting and knowledgeable session. Coming to our today's session, let me welcome our today's presenter, Dr. Barun Sinha. Namaste, sir. Welcome to YPS.
Namaskar.
Probably, yeah. I guess we are meeting after 2 or 3 years. Last time we met during the International Salon judging in Bangalore.
Yes, that was, I think, 2017.
So, yeah, 3 years. It feels like it was yesterday. I guess you would have met this year as well for the Salon, International 2020 Salon. You are one of our juries. It would be really good if you could have an online session. No, not online session, but a physical session. But yet, because of the pandemic, here we are.
Yes,
I hope you are doing good, and a warm welcome again to YPS.
We have missed out many things because of the COVID. One of the most important event which we have missed out was the FIEP Congress 2020.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
supposed to be have taken place at Jaipur in November. But
Something which is not to be missed, we are missing, but I guess it has got its pros and cons. Let's make it bigger next year.
Yeah, no, can't be next year because the next year will be the photo meet, which they are planning at Oman in I think November, and they do the congress every even year, and the photo meet at every odd year. That's how they work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hope till the situation is fine and we can attend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are easing out. We had to continue with the counting of votes, which we did at Calcutta. I visited Calcutta for 2 days, 3 days, in fact, and it wasn't a bad experience. Although there were many restrictions in the flight, number of flights are less, but overall it was good. And in the next couple of months, I hope it will be even better.
Yeah, hope so. Yeah. So let me now introduce our today's presenter, Dr. Barun Sinha. Well, he does not require any introduction, but anyone who does not know, go to the website. You can read the introduction there. Now, I'm going to keep it a little informal. So here it is. He's a foodie, loves to travel. He has visited more than 55 countries and almost all major wildlife sanctuaries of India except for Manas, which he has missed on 2 occasions. Hope he is third time lucky. When
Yes.
asked, yeah, when asked how he managed to find time for travel and photography despite being a surgeon, he says he was once a hard-working surgeon, but now is a hardly working surgeon. So he devotes more time to his passion, photography. He has a sign posted near his house and hospital, which is just opposite to his house, which says prostate to the left and portrait to the right. Quite interesting.
You
His
will see that.
first model, sorry?
You will see that in few
Oh
minutes.
wow, that will be fun. Yeah. Yeah. His first model was an old man on whom he had operated upon for prostate. He invited the patient to his home on the day of discharge and made the portrait. Over the years, he has done it on several occasions. Some who helped Dr. Sinha were Sri T. N. Perumal and Sri R. S. Chopra, who were extremely knowledgeable and ever so willing to share their vast knowledge. Among the contemporary photographers he admires and often works together with Dr. Pramod Shanbag from Bangalore. He's a fun-loving person. He came to Bangalore with a alcoholic friend in 1998 and visited 22 pubs in a night. That's a huge number for a night. He knows almost all photographers of Bangalore. How he accomplished, we'll find out in some time. Here are a couple of quotable quotes from Dr. Barun K. Sinha. It is a wrong notion that practice makes you perfect. It is the perfect practice which makes you perfect. So practice your craft in the correct way. Here's the second one. I'm never satisfied with my work. I'm yet to shoot an image which is equal to 1,000 words. Satisfaction is death. So this is about Dr. Barun K. Sinha, and let us come back to
Can I add a third one to
knowing.
that? Can I add a
Yeah,
third one to that?
please, sir. That will be nice.
I can resist anything but temptation.
Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, it's a one-liner short, but very effective. Yeah. So most of the photographers from Bangalore. How did you accomplish that?
That was way back in uh, two, 2001 when
Okay.
I was visiting uh, Ranganthittu,
Okay.
and I stayed in a hotel in Mysore, and early morning around 6:30 I was at Ranganthittu.
Hmm.
I had a 300 fixed lens, prime lens, f4.
Okay.
I was using Canon, and
Hmm.
they will not allow me to enter the water body because the timing was 8 or 8:30, something like that. I said I
Okay.
have come all the way to visit and shoot birds. By 8:30, the birds will be tired. What will I shoot?
Right.
Then nothing could move them. They will say the rules are rules. You can see, read here. It is written timing. Then I saw a group of about 10 people, all with long lenses, and I knew none of them.
Okay.
And the only photographer I knew of Bangalore was Harry, Dr. S. Harinarayan. Not that I had met him before, but because
Hmm.
he won a prize in a salon we organized way back in 1997 or 98.
Hmm.
And I spoke to him on telephone, and we had a good rapport because he was also a surgeon. So, I knew him, that's all. I'd never met him. So I
Okay.
went to the group and I asked them, is Dr. Harinarayan among you? And the
Okay.
guy who I didn't know who he was. I'd never seen his picture, never met him. This was the time. I'm not sure whether people had mobile or not at that time. Very few
Okay.
people had mobiles also.
Yeah.
Uh, the guy who answered my question was none other than Pramod Shanbag. He
Okay.
said, "You are looking for Dr. S. Harinarayan?" I said, "Yes." He's not here, but what's the problem? I said, "Well, they are not allowing me inside." So I thought, if he's there, he will help me get inside. Okay, no problem. You come with us. And
Okay. Good.
I was allowed to enter the park, and Dr. Shanbag made me to share his boat with me. And
Wonderful.
and we talked and talked, more talk than photography. And he said, by 3 o'clock I will be in Bangalore, so you come and join me for a dinner. I said, "No, sir, I will not join you for dinner, but I'll definitely come to your place." And I did. I went to his place at about 5 p.m. and saw his wonderful pictures, and that's how I got introduced to the photographic fraternity of Bangalore. Then in 2002, Gul
Mm-hmm.
Rajani organized a tour of Africa, and which was 1 week for Africa, Kenya, and 1 week for Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Botswana.
Okay.
This was the worst period for visiting Zimbabwe. The law and
Mm-hmm.
order was really, really poor. I can, uh, tell you anecdotes for the whole evening, and still time will be short. So many
Okay.
near mishaps occurred that, but somehow we managed. We came unscratched from that. That was a great thing.
Okay.
And there were 25 of us, and there was a guy, senior guy from Mumbai, who was a friend of Gul, uh, uh, Dadaji, Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
not Doctor, Mr. K.C. Marfatia. He's
Okay.
no more. At that time, he was in his 80s or late 70s, and rest almost all of them were from Bangalore, almost. Uh,
Okay.
and every evening used to be very interesting for us. My wife was with me, and there was only one other lady. She was from Israel, but she was a Jew born in India, married to an Israeli, naturally.
Okay.
And both of them used to live in Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the only other lady and my wife. And what we found that all these Bangaloreans, when at the dinner table, especially at night, they will bring out all kinds of powders, rasam powder, sambar powder, this
Right.
powder, that powder. And you see, all Indians are they love to have Indian food. Maybe North Indian, maybe South
No
Indian.
doubt.
What you see, this is, somehow it's built in us. And
Correct.
uh, Indians, not food wise, they want quality as well as quantity. That's the great thing about Indians, that food
True.
should be good, and good in amount also. And
Yeah.
it was, at that time, it was not very common to have Indian food in African resorts. Nowadays they are making
Mm-hmm.
chole bhature, they are making
But
samosas, because
right.
all these cooks have got now trained in the Indian cookery, and
Mm-hmm.
because of so many Indians are visiting. You go to any resort, you will find at least 25% of the visitors are from India. China and India have taken over Europeans.
Okay.
Only thing you see when you are watching uh, uh, river crossing in northern Serengeti or in Masai Mara, only thing you see more than wildebeest is the number of Indians and Chinese. That's the only
Okay.
thing. There's so many Indians. Yeah,
Right.
even the remote place of North Serengeti, I was surprised. The cook was not Indian, yet we were getting Indian food. And
Great.
every afternoon or morning he will come and ask, give us a list. What do you want to have? This curry, that curry, everything. So that is a big, big change in Africa.
Mhm.
And uh, we took full advantage of all these Bangaloreans because we used to get ready-made sambar, ready-made dal,
Masala.
ready-made rasam, and
Correct.
you ask any foodie from European countries or outside India, the one thing they miss is dal or rasam or sambar. You
Mhm.
cannot find these things in any restaurant outside India unless it is an Indian restaurant. The
Right.
dal is the thing which makes a food palatable for us, and uh, vegetable तो सब चल जाता है. Any
Mhm.
vegetable is good enough. Boil कर दो खा लो कुछ नहीं. So
Correct.
that was a very good introduction for me to the Bangalore. Dr. Harinaran was also in that trip, and
Nice.
he had his stock of jokes are unending.
Okay.
You will know so many jokes, and it
Mhm.
was a good time. We spent for about 8 days. We visited one, two, three, four parks, and
Mhm.
that's how I got introduced to Bangalore. And then uh, um, uh, in many tours, I went to with Gul, like to Ranthambore, to Kabini twice,
Mhm.
Bandipur once, all organized by uh, Gul. I will just
Hmm.
go from here and join. And obviously, most of the members were from Bangalore or nearby
Correct.
places. So, and that uh, friendship is still continuing. In 2014,
Mhm.
uh, they came to know about my successful MFA portfolio, which was shot in one trip at End2 in Tanzania.
Okay.
And the entire portfolio is from one trip only, all cheetah photos. So
Wow.
gradually they all got interested. Mallika Arjun, Dr. Shan Bag, Satya, and few many more. And nine of us we went together to uh, um, Endu2.
Mhm.
We also went to uh, Crater, Ngoro, and Endu2. And it was a good tour. And after that, Dr. Shanbag and myself had been to many tours together.
Okay.
And also, I have done few trips with Tohod.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Very nice person, Jain Sharma.
yes.
Yeah. Wow. That's a very nice way to get along with people and continue your passion of photography. So let's
Yes.
start with the presentation. Your journey to photography. How did it start? And let me know once you want to bring up the screen.
Sorry, say it again, please.
We'll start with the presentation, the journey, your journey to photography, and let me know once you want the screen to be on the. Uh,
Yeah, okay, I'm ready. Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yep. welcome to my cloud friends, because this presentation is through cloud. So all
Yeah.
my cloud friends are most welcome. Uh, at the end of the presentation, you're free to ask any question, but don't ask very difficult questions, please. The questions should be simple.
Yeah.
um, as you said, prostate and portrait, it's written in Hindi because most of my patients do not read English. So the
Right.
building uh, on my left here, this is my hospital, this is the entrance, and on my right is my residence. And this picture, this board is not there because it used to be at the gate of the hospital.
Mhm.
One fine morning, I got up at 5, and around 6 o'clock, I have taken this picture. Otherwise, there will be too many traffic on this road, and
Right.
I cannot show the two buildings in one picture because of the traffic itself. There will be 4 or 5 ambulances lying here, which
Okay.
in the I had asked them to move out for this picture only.
Right.
So, um, so this is how the portrait is on the right, and the prostate, uh, my bread earner, is on the left.
Yeah.
And
This photos are
the
very good.
journey, the journey starts from this tower, which which is in Hazaribagh Wildlife Sanctuary. People call it Hazaribagh National Park, but actually this is a sanctuary. Nowadays, it
Mhm.
is in a very, very poor condition because of official neglect and political interference. Uh,
Okay.
One famous naturalist, late Mr. M. Krishnan, used to visit this park for shooting sambars, and he's on record that India's largest sambars are found in this park. And
Okay.
there were sometimes you will see as big as a horse. You will think that this is a horse or a sambar. So tall. So way back in 1969, I was a kid of 20 years only. Second year medico, had a
Okay.
camera but did not carry my camera. A very small
Okay.
camera, because that I didn't know whether I will be able to take a picture of wildlife with that camera, so I didn't carry it.
Mhm.
We had no accommodation, so for safety point of view, also I did not carry my camera. So we
Mhm.
reached there in the evening. Uh, did not get an accommodation. All the accommodation were full. The warden offered his room to us, one of the rooms outside his flat,
Mhm.
and we agreed for that. But then, while driving in the night, we came across this tower, and we went up, and we decided that instead of sleeping in that closed room, why can't we sleep here? And
Okay.
after a little bit of argument, we had our blankets and things like that. This was the era when sleeping bag, most of us had not heard of what is a sleeping bag.
True.
And so we took out our blankets out, and it was end of September. Durga Puja was in September that year.
Hmm.
And that's because my father was also a avid traveler. He had gone outside Patna. The car was available for me. And
Okay.
in the morning, this picture is taken in the morning. And we saw this place in the light, and the love at first sight. This is how I describe. And there was a pathway going down near a stream, and it was so wonderful an experience for us, especially for me, that we decided that whenever we get an opportunity, we come here just
Okay.
for picnic. Photography was not part of the deal. because I had no camera to take pictures of wild animals. And in fact, we in that particular trip, we did not see a single sambar. The undergrowth
Okay.
was so much that you don't see anything except rabbits and things like that. Some um, peacocks, and over the next 1.5 years, I made 5 trips to this place, and we always stayed in on this tower because that's not only it was an extra enjoyment for us, but it saved a lot of money also because we used to pool our pocket money to go there. Somebody will bring boiled egg from home, somebody will bring something else from home, like that to save money. And then in 1970, a Japanese photographer came to Patna and
Mhm.
he wanted to sell his Minolta SLR, two bodies, one 58 mm 1.8 lens and one 200 mm 5.6 lens. And we made a deal, and my father was generous enough to give me 1,000 rupees for that. And
Wow.
for 950 rupees, I bought all those things. Four things, two lenses and two bodies. I had never taken a picture with a SLR. It was a new experience
Okay.
for me. So I went to my father's friend who used to do photography and learned some things from him. And you know, uh, I was launched into the world of photography.
Mhm.
This was the time when in Patna nobody had a tele lens. Nobody. And very soon, all the photographers came to know that somebody has bought a 200 tele. People used to come to
Okay.
my place to see how a tele looks like. And
Okay.
it was not a very fast tele. It was 5.6, 200, but still a 200 is a 200.
Right. Right.
And during that period, there was a Ranji Trophy match in Patna between Bihar and Bengal.
Hmm.
And the newspapers wanted to get it covered with pictures. So they contacted me. They found out and they contacted me that, will you take some pictures for us? I said yes. And they gave
Wonderful.
me 20 rupees per picture. And
Per
for three
picture.
days,
Okay.
they will publish 3, 4 pictures and I will get 50, 60 rupees like that. That was my uh, uh, introduction to uh, photography, serious photography. But it wasn't serious in that sense, because most of the time was taken by studies. But my love for wildlife was there. And there is another place, at that time it was in Bihar, now in Jharkhand, called Palamu National Park. It's a
Okay.
tiger reserve, also called as Betla. And in 71, when I visited there, this elephant was something like 200, 300 yards away from us. But I had the tele, I had no techniques. I had the technology, but no technique. And this is a picture of a black and white picture. This is I've lost the negative. The picture was reasonably good, not as bad as you can see. The grains were not there, but when I was away to in England, I lost all my negatives. So there are no proper records. This was all taken during that era. And this is my first studio portrait in 2003. This is the guy who had his prostate removed only 3 days ago. And since he was, my patient, he could not have said no. So I wheeled
Right.
him on the wheelchair and into my studio, took 5, 6 pictures. So this is with a film camera. And generally, we call the patient after a month for a follow up. And when he came for the follow-up, I gave him a 6x8-inch print. He was over the moon. कि वाह क्या डॉक्टर है, फोटो काम ऑपरेशन भी करते हैं और फोटो भी देते हैं मरीज को.
सही है.
And this is again my studio portrait. This is not in my studio, somewhere else in Calcutta. A professional model. During that time in 2003, I'm going back to that picture. If you want to have a model, it was next to impossible in Patna, a female model. This situation has improved, but the worst period was between 2005. No, between 93 and 2005, during when the chief minister was somebody else. People will shut their doors at 8 o'clock. That was the atmosphere here. This again is a available light portrait. He is also a photographer. We went to Indore for a jury commitment, and I saw him, and he always carries this red turban. It's not a turban; it's a gamcha kind of thing.
Okay.
And people were shooting in the morning. I said, I will shoot in the evening when the light is against, the sun goes down.
Subject.
And we put, we were, the jury session was going on in a guest house. So I asked the keeper to find me a blanket. So the two keepers are holding the blankets at the backdrop, and the sun is coming from the top back. This is again available light, my granddaughter. This is a street candid portrait taken in front of my house. Again, street portrait. No, not even a reflector has been used. This was in South Africa during PF Congress. She was a model, but it is an outdoor shoot. No light, no reflector, nothing has been used. This is the remains of Angkor Wat.
Remains of?
Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat, the famous temple in Cambodia. The largest religious compound of the world. The main compound, I'll show you the pictures, and I'll narrate the stories about that when it comes.
Sure.
This is in Thailand. We went for a organized tour. So this is a professional model. There are two elephants, and somehow they were very friendly to each other, the elephant and the model. And this shoot was done way back in 2016. We had a FIP photo shoot at Goa. This is an outdoor shoot during an indoor session. I asked the model to come out, and this bougainvillea plant was there. So it was done with the available light, no reflector, nothing has been used here. Indoor shoot in Calcutta. This is again Chiang Mai Island in Thailand. Same model was there with the elephant. A village near Kosani. This is during our 2016 Goa shoot. It was mentored by Mr. Vijay Agarwal, and the host was Tripti Roy. This is Photoshop. The hand.
Wow.
Yeah, and the hand is from Korea. and the model is from Assam. Again, available light portrait in South Africa. She is a model, professional model. Indoor shoot. Again, an indoor shoot. This is an outdoor model shoot at Jodhpur, 2010.
Was in the previous image, did you use a strobe or anything? Additional light to
No,
light up the?
no,
It's
no,
all
nothing.
available light
All
back here.
available. Everything is
Okay.
available. This is indoor. Indoor.
Mm-hmm.
Again, indoor. Outdoor near Darjeeling.
Hmm.
Indoor. Available light outdoor shoot at Hornbill Festival. Those of you who have not been to this year, it is cancelled. Those of you
Yeah.
who have not been to Hornbill Festival, they should go for 3-4 days. Excellent photography. Excellent.
Yeah.
It
Even
was
the
very
experience is
cool.
quite outstanding, is what we hear.
Yes. The only thing is you have to arrange for your own lunch every day. Carry your own lunch because
Okay.
you know they eat all kinds of things there. So I don't want to name it. This is a composite picture.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a composite picture. Composite. This is during PSA annual conference last year, September.
So just one thing, the mouse pointer, can you move it a little away from the off screen?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That should do.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is in Udaipur during FIP convention 2016. This is the picture at near
Yeah.
Darjeeling.
A wonderful
This is
image.
one, yeah, this has won many awards for me. I have used a small LED light for this. The light was very poor. There was
Mm-hmm.
no snowfall. This is the filter I have used. Uh, but fog was there and it was pretty cold.
Okay. The mood is really excellent.
Yeah, model was good.
Mm.
And this is Torres del Paine in Chile.
Mm.
Uh, we were staying somewhere here. This place you see is our lodge.
Wow.
We were there for 5 days. The weather was so nice. At times, you need to have some clouds. This picture on that day, the
Drama.
day was very beautifully sunny, but I wish there were some clouds.
Yeah,
On
that would
other
have
days,
added a lot of drama.
yes, this was at in Argentina, Patagonia, Argentinian part of uh, Patagonia. This is Mount Fitzroy. We only shot from this eastern side. If you go to the western side, you get more dramatic pictures because there is a lake there, which we could not go. This is again Terrace del Paine. This is the famous Iguaju Falls of Brazil. After visiting Patagonia, we went to Brazil and we visited Iguaju Falls for one day from Argentinian part and one day from Brazil. In fact, 2 days from Argentinian part and 1 day from Brazil. It is so big. The number of falls are nearly 100.
Wow,
Nearly
100.
100. And, dramatic falls. Uh, Brazilian part is short one, but more drama is there, including this one. This is the Yellowstone National Park. Switzerland landscape. Colosseum. Slow shutter on a tripod, and we used to wait for the red light. When the red light opens, then you get more vehicles going, so you get more streaks like this here.
Yeah.
This picture, Macena's gold. The light, and me and Dr. Shanbag were standing together, and suddenly, the light came piercing the mist. It was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, these scenes are truly magical sometimes,
Yes, yes. And photography apart, just watching was a great fun.
Bliss.
Same thing. This is the aerial shot of dunes and shadows in Namibia, way back in 2006. Actual picture is of course, in color, using a DSLR. But somehow I think कुछ तस्वीरें ऐसी होती हैं जो रंगों की मोहताज नहीं होती. This is one of those.
Wonderful perspective.
Yes. This is an outdoor museum in Morocco. We visited I think last year. Yes, and this light, the triangular light, the line of light was the famous line said by Mr. C. Rajagopal, one of my predecessors as Secretary General of FIP, and par excellent pictorial photographer, par excellence. And this is
it's all about the play of light.
Yeah, this is line of shadows.
Line of shadows.
He is a coal digger, charcoal digger. Actually, they put some woods inside this chimney, this oven, and they burn it, and then they produce charcoal. It's a big health hazard for him, but that's how the life is.
Yeah.
This is in Cambodia. This is in my village. It's about 2 hours drive from Patna. She's making popcorns.
Yeah, Makai.
Makai, yes. These are all black and white.
So for studio portraits, what is the lighting setup basically? What is your basic setup? And starting from basic to extremes, how do you make the lighting?
This is not my studio, but the way I arranged it, the backdrop, as you can see, is very light colored, and they have the big diffusers. I don't know what they call it. And so the length is about 4 feet, and the width is about 1.5 feet.
Okay.
And in this particular picture, I have used 2 of them and a reflector at the floor
To cover the
to kill the
shadows from the bottom.
Yeah, that's all. Very simple item. Same setup, same model, but the lighting is different, the backdrop is different. This is another model, another place. I generally, although I have shot in a group also, but I prefer to hire the studio, hire the model, hire the lightman. Lightman is important because I don't do that much portrait that I can have very good control. Maybe 2 or 3 times in a year I will do.
Okay.
But available light, I have no problem. I can manage things very easily. That I enjoy doing more.
Yeah, in the studio, the light is the main key. If it is
Yes.
not right, it will break. If it is right, it will just make the photo.
Yes. Now this is the uh, the temples of Angkor Wat. Apart from the main 200 main Angkor Wat temple, there are about 200 to 300 temples which are lying in this estate. There's so many that it is beyond the government to maintain them.
Yeah.
They, all of them, or almost all of them, have been taken over by fig trees. We all know fig trees, people, burger, they all are
Correct.
the bigger genre of fig trees. Now, fig trees, there are 900 species of them, subspecies. And their scientific name is Ficus strangulosa.
Okay.
So they strangulate anything which comes in contact with them, unless saved by human interference, will be destroyed. Destroyed to the extent that you can see all these rocks. These are part of the buildings which have been dismantled by the growth of the roots. You can see these are all roots. And when I saw that, we were there for 4 nights. No, 4 nights. And our guide had kept 1 day for this and 3 days for temple and that village to visit and all this kind of things. There is a river, and you can the rulers had made uh, pictures of Shiva, and the river is flowing on the rocks. So somehow they diverted the river at that time, AD 1200. So nearly 800, 900 years ago. And made that, not, I won't call it a sculpture, just sketches on the rocks. And now you can see them. So he had kept 1 day for that. I saw it on this very first day. This was our first visit. I said, I am not going to go any other place. 2 days we must give to this place because there's so many of it. And, they're captivating. You can see how, sorry. Yes. You see how there's you can see a human structure here, human resemblance. Something is here. And there is a temple kind of thing, a small monument made there, Shiva. And this kind of pictures, there's so many of them. Here again you can see a resemblance of a human structure, human body. See how the roots have taken over, and the inside there is a temple, again a Shiva, or I think, yeah, Shiva. All these you can see. They look,
Yeah, this is like
yes, like
they
the
know
uh, uh, rose food.
they just correct.
You see,
It's like they know no bounds.
and uh, instead of stopping it, they have made it as a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And every few kilometers there is a temple. You go there and take pictures like this one. This was the first temple I visited, and instantly I remembered a song of a very old film called Sujata, sung by S.D. Burman. He has
Okay.
said, "होता तू पीपल मैं होती अमर लता तेरी तेरे गले माला बनकर पड़ी लहराती रे." So my friend who had gone with me, he said, "Sir, how could you remember, such a thing? And this is a people tree, and you narrate it so well." I said, "Well, it just came out. I saw this, and he said, "Arey, hota tu people, main hoti amar lata teri." It's beautiful, and I've taken uh, many pictures. You are not supposed to take a model in these places. You have to take
Mm-hmm.
prior permission, of course, which is very difficult for us. They will ask you 100
Correct.
questions which you can't answer from India. So my wife used to be my model. I had taken some dress so that they're very gaudy colored dress.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in this presentation they will not look nice. So I have not put them. This is village photography. Sonpur Mela is used to be uh, a great place for exchange of or sale of elephants. And I remember as a medico, they will take us for training in preventive medicine, how to manage a fair like this where lakhs and lakhs of people are coming, you know, for their sanitation and all that.
Hmm.
As it happens, we were never interested in teachings. We will go and see the mela. We'll see the dances and all that. Many dance troupes are there. Different foods are available, and I remember I counted 100 elephants. I'm talking about 1972.
100.
100 elephant had come for sale. I have no figure to tell you how many were sold and how many were not sold. And this picture is taken in 2005. And
Okay.
this time there were about 15 to 20 elephants. And my last visit was in 2016, only 2 elephants.
For the drop in numbers.
The reason is it's a wildlife, wild animal, and you cannot sell or purchase a wild animal. So I'm sure nowadays the elephant number of elephants will be zero. But on this particular day, the number of visitors were 8 lakhs. 8 lakh people took a dip in this river. This is river Gandak.
Okay.
And the confluence of Gandak and Ganga downstream is about half a kilometer from this place. And this Mela, this fair starts on the day of Kartik Purnima, which will be next month.
Right.
And Pushkar fair ends on the day of Kartik Purnima. And this starts on the Kartik Purnima. The famous story, the mythological story, is the fight between the elephant and the grah, that is crocodile. Gaj and grah. Gaj is elephant, and upstream about 70 to 80 kilometers from this place is Valmiki Tiger Reserve,
Okay.
which is at the border of Nepal. On the Nepali side, you have Chitwan National Park. On the Indian side, you have Valmiki Tiger Reserve. And the story is, mythological story is, that the Gaj, this elephant, had Lord Vishnu in his favor.
Okay.
And so he was very proud of himself that I can do anything, Vishnu ji mere saath hai. So he got entangled with a crocodile, and crocodile pulled him down the river up to this place, about 70 to 80 kilometers. And then the elephant realized that now the confluence was visible to him, confluence of Gandak and Ganga. He thought, if he pulls me in the beyond the confluence, then I am finished, because he is the king of the water.
True.
Then he remembered Vishnu. All this time, it took 4 days for him to come from Valmiki Tiger Reserve to Sonpur. This is Sonpur, the village. At that time, it was village. Now it's a big town, almost a city. Then Lord Vishnu came and saved him from the mouth of the crocodile. And that was a Kartik Purnima night. And there is a temple. I have tried at least 10 times to get inside the temple and took picture from the top of all the devotees coming with the, lota, this reservoir, of small reservoir. They come with the water from Gandak and pour it in the temple. But the crowd is so much that you have to go in the night and stay at the top. There is a open place from where you can take pictures. But I tried many times. I left the idea. I said there's no point in going there, because we go early morning 6 o'clock. For that, from Patna we have to start at 4 o'clock. It's about 30 kilometers from Patna. Very colorful place. You get good pictures. People are very friendly. They are not spoiled by the photographers. You can see there's so many photographers here. They have not been spoiled by photographers offering them money. So you get good pictures. And they will pose for you, especially for me, because I can speak their dialect.
Right. That's important.
Yes. This is Purulia, Rural Grand Prix. as if he's driving his Ferrari.
Yeah. Yeah. Ferrari ki sawari.
And this is again in Cambodia, the civil war. I hope you remember the uh, Pol Pot. He nearly killed 1,000 educated people. He hated educated people. And then there was a civil war, and they put mines everywhere without any maps, without anything. So a lot of people lost their limbs, and they are earning their livelihood by doing this kind of thing. This is Udaipur, and guess what? This is Patna. My home is here. Here. Last year, when I came back from uh, US PSA tour, I landed in this kind of water. My I live in the ground floor. There was 1 foot water
Okay.
inside the house. So I immediately asked my wife to shift to the hospital. And there were no patients. Only 2 patients were there because there was no water, there was no electricity.
Right.
So we used to have bottled water, and the government agencies were distributing every house.
Mm-hmm.
And in the day, we will run the generator because there was no electricity. It was so risky to have the electricity because many wires were broken.
Correct.
And I was carrying my camera, same camera which I had taken to America, to 70-200 lens and a small lens and two bodies. So I will sit in the balcony whole day doing nothing but taking pictures like this. This is Morocco. You can guess this is Varanasi.
Hmm.
Very old picture. This is Mandu. My village. This is kind of a setup. I requested them to walk 3 or 4
Right.
times. Again, Patna in floods, river in the city. This is again from the balcony of my hospital. You can see my house again here. There is one picture. I don't think it is here. No, it's not here. In that, a guy has put two large side drums, and put a platform on it, and made a big, nice floater for himself. And for some reason, he came to this place right in front of my gate, and people were standing around. And I took pictures of him. Now, I cannot send it. It's a good PJ picture, but I cannot send it to any Indian salons
Hmm.
because you can read my name there. That's the watermark. It's my
Okay.
house. It's my
Right.
house, and written in Hindi. It's written in Hindi. But I
Right.
can send it to foreign countries, and I do get, reasonably good acceptance on that because they can't read it. Hindi is
Correct.
not their language. So
For
they
them,
for
it's
them,
just letters.
yes, anything else. It's like Latin to us. And
Right.
I, with Photoshop, I can remove it in a minute, but then it will become illegal. In a
Right.
PJ picture, you can't do that. So I just thought, okay, I'll not enter it into Indian salons. I'll send it only.
Right. This images tells like कौन कहाँ आ गया है या
Uh,
किसकी गलत जगह पे आ गया है.
ah, this is the New Zealand. Victorian uh, day they celebrate. This is my underwater shot. This is me. I got interested into scuba diving,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, my first foray into scuba diving was way back in year 2000, and everything which could have gone wrong went wrong. I won't say that there was a threat to my life, but it was a very panicky situation for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost said goodbye to scuba diving till I went to Goa for a photo shoot in 2016. I saw the ad. Wife was not there, so nobody was there to stop me. So
Right.
I called the phone number, and next morning, the guy, my trainer, took me underwater, and he took some pictures also with a underwater camera.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such an exciting experience that I bought a cool underwater cool pics.
Okay.
You can shoot up to 30 meters with that camera. Only JPEG,
Mm-hmm.
no RAW file is there, but okay for this kind of photography. And in 2016, I went to Australia, and at Great Barrier Reef, uh, I bought that camera for shooting the Great Barrier Reef underwater, because by
Okay.
then I had done my uh, one session of uh, scuba diving, and I
Scuba
thought I can,
diving.
with the help of guide, of course.
True.
I still will not go alone, never.
Yeah.
You have to have certain courses and all that.
Correct.
Then
Yeah, you have to go through that.
when we were buying the ticket for the scuba diving, I said, "I'll. Do you want?" He asked me, "Do you want pictures?" I said, "No, I have my camera." No, you can't shoot with your camera. I said, "Why?" No, because your safety will be jeopardized. I said, "What is
Okay.
this? It's hanging from my wrist. How would it affect my safety?" No, sir. This is the rule. If you want camera, sorry, pictures, you have to buy from us.
Oh.
I said that's not fair, and I did not go for the diving. I said no. In protest, I will not take the scuba diving. Uh, 2 years later, my son came. He lives in Canada. He is a very good diver, and we all of us went to Andaman, and I took this picture there with my cool pics.
Perfect.
And I have a guide with me. He's beside me, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
he controls everything.
Okay.
Now, my wildlife pictures. I have limited my wildlife presentation because this presentation is for YPS, and to show YPS people wildlife images is like taking coal to Newcastle. So very
Right.
limited. This is again, as you can see, it's from Bandipur. Mallikarjun was with me in that fateful day. We had good sighting for about 10 minutes. It went inside this ditch. This is a ditch. And when she came out, so, she gave this, dirty look. What?
Yeah.
This is again Ndutu, Serengeti. Old picture, 2007. Between the horns, I call it. The cheetah, the mother cheetah, this is the mother, see the
Yeah.
son is there. Very cleverly, she had put her body between the two horns. So she has, disarmed the gazelle. Now
True.
the only defense they have is the horn, and that has been disarmed. Very clever, very, very clever. Svalbard, black rocks, and these
Yeah. White bear.
white barriers. Look at the width of the paws. No land animal can withstand. Even tiger can't survive in front of this. It's so strong. Getting a kill, same setup on the dinner table. This is dragging the kill, has won so many awards, so many. I was unlucky to be lucky on that particular day, because
Okay.
when the bear came very close to us, uh, I was in a group uh, mentored by uh, Tohold,
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. Shanbag, one of my friends from UK, and few other photographers, two more from the one Dr. Hegde was from Bangalore, and there was another guy who had in the same group, and some foreigners. So when the bear came very close, we were only about 30 or 40 feet away. Somebody coined this idea of eye level shot. We were on the deck, which is about 20-30 feet from the sea level.
Okay.
So all our rooms were on the basement.
Hmm.
So all of us ran to the basement to take eye level shot by opening the porthole.
Right.
And opening the porthole is not easy because it is so tight. Unless it is kept that tight, the sea water will seep into your room.
Hmm.
So to make the rooms waterproof, they make it very, very tight. They have
Yeah.
a ring kind of thing, and I tried to open it, but didn't have that strength to open it. So I called one of the crew members. Can you please open this? And when he opened it for me, I found, to my utter surprise, that my room is on the other side where the bear is. The bear is on the
Okay.
left of the seat. My room was on the right. Opening was on the right side of the seat. I said, now what to do? I could not have asked any other room occupants to make room for me, because the
Hmm.
porthole is very small. You can only put
Correct.
one camera and lens.
One camera.
I said, what to do? I said, okay, let's go back to the deck. And at
Hmm.
that time, it started to drag the kill from here to like this. Now, if you're shooting from your window, you will not get this top view and this.
Line created. Yeah.
So,
Correct.
in a
Correct.
way,
Correct.
sometimes your bad luck is your good luck.
जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है.
अच्छे के लिए होता है, ऊपर वाला सब देखते रहता है.
Right.
This is the Chobe River, young croc, and a dead uh, roller, African roller. This is Saktal, grey-headed flycatcher. Leos in rain. It was raining in Kenya last year, December. Again,
Wow.
rain.
The perfect setup.
Yeah. Some people think that the rain has been added.
And then
Yes. And I said, yes. I was carrying my garden sprinkler, so I had a long arm.
Yeah.
So I was sprinkling from my right hand and taking a selfie from my left hand.
Right.
The light was poor, but still we managed. I shot at different shutter speeds to
Hmm.
register the streaks. You know these streaks.
Correct.
You know we don't take that many rain pictures to know which shutter speed is the right one. See,
Trial and error. Yeah.
yeah. This is the story of the water hole. 5 species are here. The
Yeah.
king,
One is.
his victim, the, the elephant, and the 2 species of birds. This is a dove, and then Egyptian geese are here. Again, in Endutu, 2018. Same trip in central Serengeti. Leopard on
It's
the
an
rock.
evening light.
Evening light, yes, yes. This was in 2019. We went for to shoot the crossings. So we spent, I think, 5 nights in central Serengeti and 5 nights at northern Serengeti. Dr. Shanbag and me. And central Serengeti was not rich in wildlife in that particular season. The sighting was not extraordinary. But this place where these rocks are, this mother and her 8 months old baby had made a home.
Hmm.
And if we will not see anything, we'll go to this place, the leopard will be there. So I used to call the driver, let's go to Leopard Puram. You'll find the
Leopardpuram.
leopard there. And
Right.
it to happen every day. Morning, evening, we will go and see the leopard. This is available light, uh, hummingbird, no extra light, nothing has been used. I think I have used a tripod.
Okay.
This is artificial light setup picture.
Hmm.
Some people have doubt whether it's a valid picture for nature section or not. Yes, it is valid
Hmm.
picture, 100% valid picture. You have I have used a flash, I have used a backdrop, everything. Still, it's for nature photography. It is acceptable, not for wildlife. There are many things, if you read the PSA guidelines.
Right.
uh, I've entered in a debate with them for many times. Still, I have not been able to change their mind. Like they say that presence of a road is a human interference.
Okay.
I'm into this. I'm extending my discussion because it is a YPS group. They do lots and lots of nature photography.
Right.
So uh, if I shoot any animal, if the road is visible, they will say it's not allowed. And I've had my picture disqualified in American salons. Now, if a lion is there with a radio collar, it's not a human interference. The philosophy is that radio collar is for the safety and study of the lion behavior and propagation of his species. Now, these people think that roads are only for tourists, which is not true. Roads are used by the forest officers, forest guards for the benefit of
maintain.
the animals, to track the poachers. If there is a mm, illness, mass illness, they
Hmm.
use the roads to give them medicines. They have salt leaks, and animals become used to the salt. And in the salt, they mix the medicine if there is any situation like that. There's so many other things. If there is a forest fire, they use the road to fight the fire.
They have to, yeah.
So then there is another thing. As I said, this picture again is a setup picture. The plant is set up. We have attracted the bird by giving them sprinkling syrup on the
Nectar.
flower. We have used 4 or 5 flash. The backdrop is
So,
artificial. But if I take a picture of a feral animal, it is illegal. Why?
hmm.
They allow Jew pictures. They said if you read the rules, Jew pictures who are totally dependent on human beings for their food and survival are acceptable in nature section. But a feral animal who migrated to forest 5, 6, 7 generations before has got nothing to do with human civilization now. He is
Hmm.
independent of everything. He lives in his own area. You know, he is not dependent on human being for food. You can't take a picture of that. There are many species called feral animals. Now, if it is not dependent on human beings for his survival, why can't I take pictures? Where do suppose I love feral animals. Suppose
Hmm.
I love to take pictures of feral animals. Where do I use it? In pictorial only. I can't use it in nature. I can't use it in wildlife. That argument they are not ready to carry.
Hmm.
Chobe River, full of uh, pied kingfishers, full. This is Katmai National Park, Alaska. Old picture, 2008. Fighting for territory, fishing rights.
Hmm.
Again, the same place, but this picture is taken in 2016. I've been there twice, and I've used
Hmm.
a shutter speed of 1/15. Tripods are not allowed, so I've used a monopod and the railing to support my lens. The lens was 120 300 2.8 Sigma lens. This is 2008 picture, same kind of setup, but the bear was alone, and uh, it's, it's 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 frozen because it's waiting for a fish. This is the famous river crossings of.
Yeah.
This is not in Masai Mara. This is in northern Serengeti.
Hmm.
Anybody who is really interested to see crossing, he has to go to uh, northern Serengeti in the first 2 weeks of August. You will see
Okay.
dozens of it. Same thing. I'm shooting with a 400 lens, and on my left hand I have my uh, iPhone, and I'm shooting
Okay.
with pixels by iPhone only. short video. And thanks to all of you. This is again my village home. Look at the uh, happiness on the faces when they see their own picture. These kids are on the moon.
Correct. Yeah, look at the little one in the front.
Look at this guy here, this little girl.
Exactly. Yeah. That immense joy.
Simple things can make them so happy, and all I give them is a piece of balloon.
Right.
My pockets are full of balloons. No chocolates, nothing. No sweets, nothing.
Okay.
This. Thank you so much, all of you. This was the last one.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, sir. It was really insightful, from portraits to landscapes. Yeah, so let's move to the quick Q&A session. To all our audience, if you have any questions, do put them in the comment, and request you to put the questions as question colon and then type in the question you have, or just put it as Q colon. So we'll try to bring that up on the screen. Krishna Bhatt
Thank
says,
you, Krishna. Thanks for the good wishes.
yeah, we have a question from Ravindra. He says, would you like to see the MFIAP submission? Can you show, sir? Okay, he would want to see the MFIAP submission.
Not possible now, but yes, I can show them. I have it, but they're not in a particular folder. But I'll share with you. I'll find out and I'll share with you.
Yeah, that will be wonderful to know the pictures. We have a question from Krishna. He's asking, do you do medical photography also?
Little bit, yes, I do. And whenever I nowadays my our CME program, continuous medical education program, has come to a big halt. Not because of Corona, that's because of Nitish Kumar. For last 4 years, he has made Bihar a dry state, and nobody is prepared to spend a week evening or travel to another town, 100 miles from Patna, and be dry whole day. So the programs have almost dried out. But earlier, whenever there was this kind of meeting, people who knew me, knew my interest in photography, they will ask this question: how you shoot a picture during operation or a clinical picture? So I had made a small PowerPoint presentation, and I would show that. It's very simple. I think no great.
Yeah, there's a question from Mr. Kashi. The Alaska bear fishing picture, shutter speed
Yes.
1:15.
Yes. The bear is not a composite picture. Take it from me, it's not a composite picture. Bear is waiting like Arjun. His eyes are fixed in the water. Where on earth I'm going to get the fish from? And he's waiting. Sometimes if you have to shoot when there is no there is no glut of fish. When the fish are less in the river. But if the fishes are more, then he will be active catching them. For that, he has to move his body, his head, and all that. But when the fish,
Correct.
you can see downstream, uh, there are no fish, then you know that the bear is going to stay like that. And I tried so many shutter speeds. 115 I found the most effective one.
Right. The water also and the stillness what you wanted.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, moving to the next question. It's from Sitanath Paul. How can anyone set up a basic studio for portraits?
Well, first of all, you have to have a space. It will be better to have a space which is not in use, or sometimes people convert their drawing rooms into studios because people are not visiting every day. So what I had done, put uh, mm, uh, a rod across the wall, and in the rod it's a light aluminum rod, and
Mm-hmm.
in the rod on the rings there are three different colors of screens, backdrops:
Okay.
gray, gray, brown, and black.
Mm-hmm.
So that whatever I wanted, I can just pull that screen, and that's it.
Use it.
Use it. And everybody has a tripod. You don't need a tripod. You can do, you know, a
Handheld.
handheld. And you buy the lights. Lights are, when I bought in 2003, my total expenses was 35,000 rupees. Three lights, one light meter, and one infrared trigger. And
Trigger.
nowadays you don't need one. You just buy a radio trigger
Read.
from there.
Correct.
Because at that time the the lights which we were using were not radio enabled.
Correct.
So
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2000, 17 years back, long time. But still they are working. The lights are working. The lights which I am facing now are the two of my studio lights.
Perfect.
And there is no end to it. You can buy different kind of diffusers, big diffusers to
Mm-hmm.
make the light very soft. Which are, I generally have a studio in Calcutta. They have about, uh, their wardrobe is very big. All kind of clothes are there. uh, uh, many kind of things they will have, hundreds of hats, flowers, things like that,
Props.
which,
Yeah.
yeah. And um, different lights they will have, different backdrops they will have, light, diffusers there are plenty.
Hmm.
So that's the advantage of hiring uh, a professional studio. My studio is only 10 into 11 into 9 feet.
Okay.
And nowadays I'm not using it because I find that many these things are like, there are no props with me. uh, I can only shoot you know family pictures or my patients. For models I don't have enough dresses and all that. So
Right.
I prefer hiring a studio. If you hire a studio, two or three people together, the cost comes to about 10,000 rupees per person.
Right.
And you
Smart
shoot
way.
at different time, your friend shoots at a different time. So there is no duplication.
Okay. Correct. It is important. And what you mentioned at the beginning, space is really, really important. I mean,
Yes.
bigger the space, you get nice flexibility. Say if you
Mm.
want to use 85 mm or 100 mm, or say 70, 200, you can use. Yeah.
Yes, I have a 105 mm 1.4 lens, which
Hmm.
I cannot use in my studio.
Correct, correct. You need a longer space
Longer
for
space,
that.
yes, bigger space.
Yeah, yeah. Let's move to the next question. It's from Chansekar, sir. How much time do you spend for processing your pictures?
Ooh. It depends for nature images. If I find a picture, uh, 10 to 15 minutes is good enough.
Okay.
If I can't do it in
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes, I can't do it.
Right.
Then at times I have taken help from other people at
Okay.
times. But otherwise, if I spend 15-20 minutes and I can't do it, I give up. It is not good for me. Pictorial, there is no end. I don't do layers. For layer, if suppose I have to do a composite picture, I call a friend who helps me out.
Okay.
And there was a time when I was doing layers, but I have forgotten that. Because I am not practicing it, I have forgotten that.
Yeah.
And
The next.
the one advantage of the lockdown was I did some webinars, attended some webinars, and learned a lot of things about processing. I'm
Wow.
a far better processor now than what I was 6 months ago.
Okay. Yeah. Good time to hone up your skills.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Murli Santanam says beautiful pictures and wonderful storytelling. Thank you, Dr. Barun Sinha. It is a long journey. I see. I still see that you are as keen as 30 years back. What keeps you going?
I don't know. As I said, I'm still uh, uh, I'm still to shoot a picture which is worth 1,000 words. So the quest for that picture is still on.
जारी है खोज
वो
जारी है
जारी रहेगी, वो जारी रहेगी.
सही है yeah that keeps you
You know,
motivated and keep you running
अभी at the peak of Corona, uh, I was there was a time when I was in self quarantine because my wife had Corona, and
okay
she was at home only. But I used to stay in this room only. This was my uh, bedroom. Everything was here only. Only for dinner or lunch, I'll go outside. And early morning, I'll get up, go to my terrace for a walk of 1 hour, and then come down, have some leisurely tea for 1 hour, 3 cups of tea, 4 cups of tea, and whole day I won't go to hospital. Whole day till 10:30 p.m. in the night, I will process my images. I used to think that why the day is only 24 hours? Why not 28 hours?
right
So I enjoyed. I really enjoyed. I am still enjoying.
perfect
Looking forward to back in the groove of traveling.
yeah
Planning to planning to travel to Kurg. I've never been to Kurg. Maybe December first week I'll go to Kurg.
nice
But still, the quest is on.
true 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 yeah so
No,
Prema is
no,
asking
no, I don't shoot with the salons in mind. People say to me, I talk to so many photographers that when they send their pictures to a salon, they see who is the judge, which salon. I never see this. Not sometimes, almost all the times, I do not know who is the jury. I never bother about the jury. Take my picture. I believe that a good picture is a good picture, whether it is in a salon or in a contest or for sale or for your personal consumption. A good picture is a good picture. If it affects, if I say wow, then any other person will say wow, and it will be awarded. If I say okay, अच्छा picture है, तो सबका वैसे ही feeling होगा. I tell you in one of our exhibitions, club exhibitions, Patna ka. This was in 1996, and somehow I came to know that Chief Justice of Bihar, Mr. Basak, he was interested in photography, and I had no connections with him. So I went to his house, sent my card inside on a Sunday, because I knew Sunday he will be in the house only. And he called me. We would, our club. I was the president of the club. My secretary was with me, and he was very receptive. चाय पिलाया, बिस्किट खिलाया. हमने उनको कहा कि सर, हमारा फोटोग्राफी का एग्जीबिशन है, आप आकर इसको इनॉग्रेट कर दीजिए सर. तो बहुत खुश हुए. He agreed. He came to our exhibition. और उसमें हमने जूरी नहीं रखा था. फोटो को जैसे जो क्लब का एग्जीबिशन होता है, उसमें पिक्चर्स को अवार्ड दिया जाता है. फर्स्ट पिक्चर कौन होगा, सेकंड कौन होगा, टू एनकरेज लोकल फोटोग्राफर्स. जितने भी विजिटर आते थे उनको हम एक स्लिप देते थे, जिसमें एक से 1 2 3 4 और एक पेन या पेंसिल देते थे कि आप इसमें मार्किंग कर दीजिए किस पिक्चर को. सब पिक्चर के ऊपर एक नाम किसी पे नहीं लगा हुआ था, एक नंबर लगा हुआ. उसके बाद मिस्टर बसाक केम, तो उन्होंने पूछा कि हाउ डू आई इनॉग्रेट. आई सेड सर, वी गिव यू अ कैमरा, you shoot a picture of this all. It's a photographic exhibition. Taking a picture is inauguration. I said, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And then at the end of the show, when he was about to return, I asked him, sir, आपको इसमें सबसे अच्छी पिक्चर कौन लगी? हो सकता है कि कोई एक पिक्चर उतनी अच्छी नहीं लगी हो, तो आप बता सकते हैं कि ये भी अच्छी है, वो भी अच्छी है. आप 3 पिक्चर सेलेक्ट कीजिए सर. और उन्होंने जो सेलेक्ट किया और जो पब्लिक ने किया था, सब एक ही था.
वाह.
तो a good picture is always a good picture. सैलून, I don't believe. People say कि अच्छा कलकत्ता का सैलून है ना, वहाँ पिक्टोरियल पिक्चर नहीं भेजेंगे तो नहीं होगा. बेंगलोर का है ना, वाइल्ड लाइफ में स्ट्रॉन्ग होना चाहिए. हमारे ख्याल से ऐसा नहीं होता है. हमारे ख्याल से ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप अच्छी पिक्चर खींचो और आप भेजोगे तो सैलून में एक्सेप्टेंस मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. ये तो हो ही सकता है कि जिस पिक्चर को कहीं अवार्ड मिला है, PSA गोल्ड मिल गया, PF गोल्ड मिल गया, दूसरी जगह वो रिजेक्ट भी हो जाए, बिकॉज जजेस आर डिफरेंट, देयर परसेप्शन इज डिफरेंट. एंड ये तो बिल्कुल हो सकता है. इसमें तो कहीं कुछ सोचना भी नहीं. कभी सोचना तब है जबकि आपको जब मार्क्स मिलता है, उसमें आप देखते हो कि किसी पिक्चर को got only 3 marks, like the lions in the rain. In a salon, it got only 3 marks. So I asked the organizers, why 3 marks? That means that every jury has given only 1 mark, which is the mark for disqualification.
Correct.
So what is wrong? Have I done anything hanky-panky with this picture? Have I put 2 pictures together? Or is there in watermark? Or is the horizon is tilted? No, कोई जवाब नहीं दिया. बाद में कहता है कि वो रेन क्लियर नहीं है, सामने में लाइन के सामने में रेन नहीं है, लाइन के पीछे ही क्यों है. अब तो मैंने उन लोग को जवाब क्या करते, मेरी चलती नहीं है. क्या ऑर्गेनाइजर सर और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के क्या, मैंने तो स्प्रिंकलर लेके पानी गिराया था ना पीछे, इसलिए सर. So that's why in October, September issues, the 2 issues of Viewfinder, you will see The rules have been defined now. You cannot give one mark.
Correct.
At the end of the day, it's a show of the intent. It's not a show of these juries. It's not the show of the organizer. Organizer is only organizing it. Money is coming from the intent. They are paying the entry fee. So we must respect the interests. If they are hard work,
Correct.
my one of my predecessors, Mr. C. Rajagopal, used to say, and I'm ready to be quoted for that. That उस समय तो ये डिजिटल होता नहीं था, स्लाइड भी बहुत कम लोग खींचते थे, प्रिंट का जमाना था। वो कहते थे कि इवन इफ यू सेंड मी A4 साइज ब्लैंक पेपर, आई हैव टू गिव 1 mark to it. For you, it's maybe a picture, a blank picture.
Correct.
इंटरेंट ने भेजा है, तो you must respect that.
True.
That's why we have made the rules as clear as possible as of now. As the time evolves, we will learn many things and we'll keep on correcting ourselves.
Yeah, let's move to the next. This is from Baswaraj. Photograph of a lady with red sari in Darjeeling. How the flying pallu is photographed. Okay, yeah, the one which is in the
Human hand.
the LED light.
Human hand.
Human hand, right.
एक आदमी पीछे खड़ा था, वो ऐसे साड़ी को पकड़ के ऐसे किया रहा, जब लाइट रेड, अच्छा वो लाइट भी जो था उसकी बैटरी खत्म हो रही थी।
Okay.
तो मैं बहुत देर तक जला भी नहीं सकता था उसको। तो पहले तो मैंने एक फोटो देख करके एक्सपोजर चेक कर लिया, उसका लाइट बंद कर दिया, सेटअप ठीक किया। आई थिंक आई वाज यूजिंग अ ट्राइपॉड, यस आई वाज यूजिंग अ ट्राइपॉड। उसके बाद वन ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजर्स वो पीछे गया, उसको ऐसे पकड़ के हमने कहा कि जब मैं बोलूंगा तब छोड़ के तुरंत रिट्रीट कर जाना, नहीं तो तू भी आ जाएगा पिक्चर में। तो तीन पिक्चर लिया, 2 में वो इस तरह का पिक्चर आया, लेकिन साड़ी सबसे अच्छी पोजीशन इसी में थी, एक में तो खुद ही आ गया वो।
Right. Trial and error, and I guess it's fun also to shoot such images. Yeah.
Nothing wrong in it. Like
Right.
you see, if you take a macro picture and you realize that there is a grass coming in front of the insect, after taking the picture, you can't do anything to it. You're not supposed to delete that grass. But before taking the picture, you should carry a pair of scissors and cut that grass.
Right. Do it before clicking the shutter.
Gardening is allowed, perfectly well.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to move a nest from this place to that place. That's a crime.
And
that's crime. But a twig coming in front of you, that kind of thing, you can always arrange beforehand, so that afterward you save time on Photoshop.
Correct. वरना cloning करते बैठ जाएंगे.
You go for a village shoot. A lady is doing something, and they will all have this white gunny bags. They look so odd in the picture. You will spend 20 minutes cloning it. तो बढ़िया उसको पहले ही हटा दो ना, झंझट खत्म हो गया।
Correct. Yeah. We'll take a couple of more questions and then move to the end of session. This is from Jinesh Prasad. How many kind of animals sell in Sonpura Mela other than elephant?
Ah, you see, there are certain things which are not wild animals, like horses, cows, buffaloes. These kind of things are perfectly legal and are openly sold. No problem. But
Mm-hmm.
there is a sordid part of it, and that is the business of selling birds and certain animals, which goes on in spite of government restrictions. Many um, enthusiasts have gone there to protest, and they had to retreat because of their muscle power. You
Okay.
know, uh, you can buy exotic birds there. You can buy so many things. What you call tortoises. In
Mm-hmm.
Patna, there is a place called Mir Shikar Ki Toli,
Mm-hmm.
and these Mir Shikaris are uh, expert bird catchers. Expert. When I say expert, they're real expert. One of them, one Mr. Hussain, uh, he was sent by government of Bihar to a workshop at Bharatpur to catch a particular bird, and the experts had
Okay.
come from America, and they were teaching them how to catch so that you can put a ring. And
Okay.
after half a day, they could not catch that bird. And then this Mr. Hussain, he did not know a word of English at that time. He said, "Sir, मुझे मौका देंगे तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ." तो इन लोगों ने मिस्टर हुसैन को मौका दिया, और within half an hour he caught that bird.
Wow.
They took him to America. He emigrated to America. He was so good at his job. And all these guys, you order any bird, and within 15 days you will get it in Patna.
Okay.
This is an illegal business. I know it is bad, but I cannot fight them. The government itself, you know, is finding it difficult to control them.
Mm. Okay. We'll move to the last question for the day. It's from Mohini Das Gupta. What's the criteria for choosing your images from wildlife?
Choosing criteria, what? No, whatever it comes in front, I shoot it. I can't ask कि भाई नहीं आज हमको टाइगर का नहीं चाहिए, आज हमको इसका चाहिए. जो है वही खींचना है.
Right. It's nature.
या नेचर का, वहाँ तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मॉडल है कि अच्छा ये मॉडल का हो गया, अब दूसरे मॉडल का लो, ये जब तक जाके रेस्ट करेगी दूसरा ड्रेस पहनेगी. वहाँ तो जो आपके सामने है उसका खींचना है.
Right. Yeah. Satish sir says it's high time. FIB must have only nature photographers as
You
there is a
think,
nature section.
well, you have mirrored my feelings. uh, I have started this new distinction called EFIP uh, Gold N for nature. This is the idea to create uh, a cadre of wildlife lovers, photographers, who have some nature distinction with their names. This year, we have about 15 applications, and I'm sure within 2 to 3 years we'll have the the cadre of nearly 100 people who have got specific nature distinctions. Once that has been achieved, we'll amend our rules. Initially, you will see within few months we are going to amend it that at least out of three, one must have a nature distinction with him. These things cannot be done overnight because we don't have the cadre.
Yeah.
Nobody knows unless there is, you are a very famous guy, suppose there is a photographer next door who does very good wildlife photography, who has the experience. He knows what's the difference between a deer and an antelope. He may not be recognizing all the birds. I don't recognize all the birds. I very often I take help from the book or from a guide. But at least I know so many things of nature. He also may be knowing all these things, but he has got no distinction. Nobody knows that he is a nature photographer. So he's never invited. And earlier, these experienced guys will only be called. Experience means those who are doing hundreds and hundreds, the people who claim that they do 10 jury sessions in a week.
Yeah.
So the new guys will never get a chance. So now, after these 15 guys, 15 applications are through, we will conduct workshops on nature. I've only just now I have when I went to Calcutta for the counting of vote, I conducted a nature session, nature workshop. With because of Corona, we only allowed 10 people. So we will give credit points on the workshops, and accordingly we'll build up a cadre so that in the next 2, 3, 4 years, time will definitely come. That time will definitely come when a nature picture will judge by three nature people who are, really doing nature work. Not that you go to
Correct.
Mangalaguri once a year and you become a nature photographer. It can't be like that. But now, as of now, we don't have the infrastructure. And nature is the most demanding, most technical part of all photography.
Right. Thank you, sir. With this, we'll come to the end of session. Thank you so much for coming to YPS and showing your journey of photography. What you have told us not to stop, keep going ahead, and strive for the image for 1,000 words.
Yes.
And never to have satisfaction. Keep
Once
moving.
you find an image worth 1,000 words, you look for an image with 1,500 words.
Correct, correct. Yeah, keep moving. Exactly.
Keep going.
That's yeah, huge learning for today. Yeah. Just before we close the session, let me go for the round of announcements. If you wish to become a member, all you need to do is go to our website or scan this code which is on your screen, and all the registration is completely digitalized. Also, do follow us on our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. Whenever we go live or post new content, you'll be the first person to get notified. International Salon 2020 is
And
open. Do request to uh, submit your best work.
thank you, Hardik, and thank you, the team YPS, and thank you, all the visitors, all the members. It has been a wonderful experience. I've learned many things. One of those was how to put your video into PowerPoint. I had to get
Right.
help from someone. I called him in the afternoon. यार ये तो हो ही नहीं रहा है, ये तो हमारा फोन से तो सिस्टम में चला गया, बट सिस्टम से पावर पॉइंट में कैसे जाएगा? तो he came and he did it within few minutes.
Learning at every
Thank you
step.
so much, Hardik. Thank you again. Thank you, Prema. Thank you, everybody. Shastri, Satish, everybody. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, sir, to have you.
Really enjoyed. Really, really enjoyed. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Time to go off.
yeah. Okay, I'll just close this. So just a moment. Yeah, so the list is there. It's ready for download. Request you to read and do review our journal. And the next week's YPS Meet Live session is by the Mr. Ashok Kandimala. We'll be talking on the perspective, perplexing perspective. It's going to be a quite knowledgeable session, so I request you not to miss this. Thank you all once again. Thank you, Sinha sir. It was really wonderful.
Thank
And to
you.
all the audience, stay home, stay safe, and see you next Sunday. Good evening to all.
Good evening. Very good evening to all of you.